Good morning. This is Pastor Zach with the Goodland United Methodist Church with your morning devotion for Wednesday, September 12th. Today I'll be reading from Hebrews chapter 3, verses 1 through 14. Therefore, brothers and sisters, holy partners in heavenly calling, consider that Jesus, the apostle and high priest of our confession, was faithful to the one who appointed him, just as Moses also was faithful in all God's house. Yet Jesus is worthy of more glory than Moses, just as the builder of a house has more honor than the house itself. For every house is built by someone, but the builder of all things is God. Now Moses was faithful in all God's house as a servant, to testify to the things that would have spoken later. Christ, however, was faithful over God's house as a son, and we are in his house if we hold firm the confidence and the pride that belong to hope. Therefore, as the Holy Spirit says, today if you hear this voice, do not harden your hearts as in the rebellion, as on the day of testing in the wilderness, where your ancestors put me to the test, though they had seen my works for 40 years. Therefore I was angry with that generation, and I said, they always go astray in their hearts, and they have not known my ways. As in my anger I swore, they will not enter my rest. Take care, brothers and sisters, that none of you have an evil, unbelieving heart that turns away from the living God. But exhort one another every day, as long as it is called today, so that none of you may be hardened by the deceitfulness of sin. For we have become partners of Christ, if only we hold our first confidence firm to the end. I want to share with you a story I've been reading over and over again over the last few months, going around on the internet. It's called A Modern Parable, and it talks about where we put our focus in our life, in our worship, that maybe it's not in the right place. So let me read this to you. It's called A Modern Parable. A lady went to her pastor and said, "Pastor, I won't be going to your church anymore." And the pastor responded, "But why?" And the lady said, I saw a woman gossiping about another member, a man that is a hypocrite, the worship team living wrong, people looking at their phone during service, among many other things that are wrong in your church." And the pastor replied, "Okay, but before you go, do me a favor. Take a full glass of water and walk around the church 3 times without spilling a drop on the ground. Afterwards, leave the church if you desire." The lady thought too easy, so she walked around the church 3 times, as the pastor had asked. When she finished, she was told the pastor she was ready to leave. He said, "Did you see any hypocrites?" And the lady said, "No." "Anyone looking at their phone?" "No," she replied. "You know why?" She said, "No. You were focused on the glass to make sure you didn't stumble and spill any water. It's the same with your life. When we keep our eyes on Jesus, we don't have time to see the mistakes of others. We will reach out a helping hand to them and concentrate on our own walk with the Lord." This is so profound for us to think about, and we worry about worship or participating in the life of a faith community that we often look for the faults and the problems that are in it. But if we kept our focus on Christ for ourselves, the rest would kind of fall away, and our focus would be where it needs to be. Have a blessed day.